Welcome back to another episode of T.G.I.WTF. This week we're looking at Season 1, Episode 18 of The Golden Palace. You've lost that living feeling. So let's take a closer look at this WTF episode. This episode starts by announcing that it's their big grand reopening party after 7 months. Side note, the mail slots seem to suggest that this hotel has 40 rooms. It's quite impressive that the staff of 7, which includes the 3 Golden Girls, the cook, the manager, the pool guy, and an off-screen maid that we've never seen, are able to meet the demands of a 4-star Miami beachfront hotel. But I digress. Rose gets Florida's top restaurant critic to come to the hotel. Chewie gets bummed out because the critic was like, "Your food sucks and isn't good enough to even be served at Taco Bell." Food critic is not playing around. Roland makes a casual joke about Chewie's food, and Chewie goes bipolar. Horny Grandpa wants to get in Rose's pants. She low-key shoots him down. That was an awkward exchange. Sophia playing dead to get out of doing more work. Maybe I should try that sometime. Oh look, Davenport arrives and Rose makes this brilliant remark.
Oh my gosh, what a coincidence. Our cook is named Chewie Crispy. Isn't that simple?
Oh Rose, you lovable dumb... A few moments later, Chewie realizes that Davenport kicked the bucket after enjoying 2 bites of his killer, lobster Newburg. He goes to tell the ladies, and Rose somehow becomes a criminal mastermind on how to deal with hiding dead bodies, and devises this insane plan. Perhaps she was in the St. Olaf Mafia. Part 1 of Rose's plan involves trusting Sophia to create a distraction. Rose tells Sophia, "Just tell everyone there are titties on the beach. Because nothing grabs attention like some bouncing titties in the Miami sun. What could possibly go wrong?"
Out on the beach, a dead body. No.
Oh yeah, that. But it still worked anyway, so good job, Sophia.
Oh, real smooth, Sophia. Look, a dead body.
Roland finds out about the death and doesn't overreact at all. They take a brief moment of silence to honor his death. But then the phone rings and quick-witted Rose has this brilliant line.
Yes, as a matter of fact, a table has just opened in the dining room.
Rose is low-key savage, and I love every minute of it. Oh Chewie might have put rat poison in the lobster Newburg. He's a hot mess, but none of that matters to Sophia because her 80-year-old ADHD self gets distracted by a shiny Rolex. Blanche brings in the news media just in time. Blanche doesn't know that he's dead yet, and asks how he liked the food. Rose with another brilliant zinger.
2 bites and he was in heaven.
Rose is on fire in this episode. Rose instructs everyone to hide the body in the freezer. Part 2 of her criminal master plan unfolds, just in time for the health inspector to randomly show up. What a coincidence. Health inspector wants to check the freezer, but Tommy Toe Tag isn't in there, so Blanche goes to her slut-ternal instincts and seduces the health inspector. In all fairness, though, he doesn't seem to mind. Probably the most action he's gotten in a long time, and the most action Blanche has gotten since this morning. Rose wheels out the body to the lobby. Horny Grandpa forgot what his luggage looks like and assumes that oversized bag must be his. Seems legit. They get to Horny Grandpa's room where Roland just took the dead body too. They decide wrapping the body in a blanket and carrying it around the hotel seems way more logical than just leaving it in the suitcase. They casually forget Horny Grandpa was in the room. Rose becomes the ultimate cock tease and makes Grandpa think that he's going to get laid.
What are you doing in my bed?
Well, let's just say I'm delivering some room service.
Again, this woman is straight up savage in this episode. They ditch the body in the laundry chute. The housekeeper doing laundry that day is in for one hell of a surprise. Sophia and Chewie carry the body through the busy dining room, and Sophia fails at a diversion yet again. This time, nobody is fazed that they're just carrying a decaying corpse through Sunday brunch. It hits the fan when everyone ends up in the same room and the secret is finally out. WTF just happened. They casually cover it up by saying, "He's drunk!" And even though rigor mortis is setting in, everybody believes it.
Soused, wasted, practically embalmed.
Rose the Savage just casually slanders the hell out of him by nonchalantly accusing him of having an alcohol addiction. She just really gives no fucks on this show. A few days later, we find out Davenport's cause of death was a massive heart attack, so everybody throws a celebratory party, and Sophia shows off her shiny new Rolex. Damn. Sophia is the true GOAT. This was one hell of a WTF episode. It was a nice nod towards British TV series Fawlty Towers and the film 9 to 5. Heavily borrowing some of the plot elements from both of those. I think one of the reasons this episode works as well as it does was because of how out there it was. The Golden Girls never really got to have many episodes involving physical or slapstick comedy, and the spin-off was meant to have its own identity. A lot of people complain that this show is horrible without B. Arthur, but I think this episode allowed the other actresses to show off a bit more of their comedic abilities. The show overall stood on its own. While it made no sense that 3 women with no experience would buy a hotel, it did allow them the chance to have more flexibility with their storylines and not tarnish the legacy of the previous show by continuing without one of the ensemble cast, or even worse, replacing her with an unlikable actor that so many other shows have done, like Three's Company, 8 Simple Rules, or 2.5 Men, for example. Well, that about wraps up this week's episode. Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Twitter at Shawn Shamrock to get my schedule of when I upload new videos. Also, if you're a fan of video games, check out the podcast that I co-host. It's called Gamer Jesters Podcast. I will see you guys in the next video.